Welcome to the Canafax Podcast, where you'll find zero Dutch marketing, zero tomato tech, and zero GMOs. Just cannabis, the way it's supposed to be. The cannabis truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help my bud.
So hop latent viroid is a molecular parasite. It's actually not a virus. It's distinct from a virus. So viruses have something on the outside. It's usually made of like proteins or fats that protect its genome. Viroids are incredibly simple. They lack any type of outside protection at all, and they're just purely genetic information. The pathogen itself was first discovered in hops in 1987 or 1988. And when it spread from hops into cannabis isn't known. And we detected in almost 80% of the companies that test with us. We found it in pretty much every state in the United States where we have enough data to actually make a call. We also have international customers. So it's in Canada, it's in Asia, it's in Africa, it's in Europe. So I would say at this point, it's a global pathogen. It's a pandemic for the cannabis industry.
Welcome to the podcast. You've seen today's topic, the HLV virus, the elephant in the room, the topic that seems that no one wants to discuss. It was discussed on a podcast, and evidently that host of that podcast was not aware of the ramifications of such podcasts. And hence it hasn't been talked about since then that I've seen. Kind of like the elephant in the room. We know it's there, but we don't want to know about it. And that's the HLV virus, which is currently over 80% of the gene pool. Not very good. Have you tested your genetics? The thing with the HLV virus, it's an RNA virus. It can sit in your genetics and you not even know it. It could be there for decades and you won't even know it. Then it shows up like HIV and it annihilates you. That's what the HIV virus is, RNA virus. Same thing. And yes, it didn't hop over to the cannabis plant. It was put there purposely to destroy your gene pool. So, my question is, why isn't anyone talking about this? Or better yet, why isn't anyone seem to be even worried about it? Why? Because you think your genetics is fine. Because currently what you're growing shows no signs of it. But my friend, like I said, it's in the genetics. It can sit there and you not even know it. For decades, that was the purpose of it. That's why they put it there. Now, from my understanding, I told you I came into the scene as a virgin. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know the dirty on anyone. I just knew how to grow from the original way before it was taken over and fraudstered. But my understanding that Mr. Kevin Jordry is the main culprit of the passing of this HLV virus throughout the community. Well, that makes perfect sense if that's what I'm being told, because he's an implant. He's a tomato tech. He does not have 40 years in the cannabis industry. That man is a fraud. Just like Sam the Skunk Man is a fraud. Just like the genetic company he works for, Bios, whatever, is a fraud. Just saying, when you're a fraud, you're a fraud. There's nothing different about that. If you have anything to say about that, I'm sitting here on the podcast. We can discuss it all day long. So that makes perfect sense when I'm told that Kevin Jordry moved this virus throughout the community. Well, that makes perfect sense if it was done on purpose. Now, doesn't it? It puts the puzzle together. So with explanations like that, on the information I brought out on the first podcast, it's really hard to say that I'm completely wrong on this now, right? I mean, come on now, seriously. I am nowhere near wrong on anything I say. And you can come on the podcast and prove me wrong. PhD or not, I do not care. So, the question is, have you tested your genetics? Are you continuing to breed? What are you doing about it other than ignoring the elephant in the room? Because if there's any genetics out there that can be saved, it needs to be taken in precaution and done right. Remember that. There will be outliers on their genetics that's currently not in this gene pool. Like my genetics, that's not currently in the gene pool. Those genetics need to be saved and taken care of. Because what's in the industry is gone. I don't care who says what. The gene pool is trashed. It's not just edited, it's infected. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's no fixing it. There's no cleaning it. There's no, the only way to fix it is to start the whole complete gene pool over, which I've done. I'm just saying, if there's any outliers out there, if there's anybody who has anything out there, you need to take the precautions and do it correctly and make sure you save your stuff and don't breed with anything. Even if it's, yeah. Remember, this has been going on for 20 years now. So you could go back 20 years. That the HLV virus was found in 1989. So, I'm just saying, if you bred with anything in the last 20 years, you could possibly have that stuff in your system, in your genetics, whether you like it or not. So, the outliers need to be protected, need to be cleaned, tested, and saved. But I would highly suggest thinking about what you're breeding with and what you're doing, and especially what you're buying. Because it ain't safe out there, my friends. Until next time, stay high, God bless. Osmo out.
Unveiling the secrets of Osmolab's top-shelf cannabis breeding. What sets Osmolabs apart from the rest? At Osmolabs, the art of cannabis breeding transcends mere cultivation. The meticulous process is akin to a symphony, with each strain curated to perfection, embodying the pinnacle of quality and innovation. The science behind top-shelf genetics. Osmolabs leverages cutting-edge old-school genetic research to concoct their signature strains. Through a blend of old-school breeding techniques and technology, they unlock the hidden potential of each cultivar, resulting in unparalleled potency and flavor profiles. Nurturing excellence in every seed. From germination to harvest, Osmolabs adheres to a rigorous standard of care for their plants. Every seed is nurtured with precision and dedication, ensuring optimal growth and maximizing the genetic potential encoded within, cultivating a legacy of excellence. With a legacy spanning decades, Osmolabs has cemented its reputation as a pioneer in the cannabis industry. Their commitment to excellence and innovation continues to push the boundaries of what's possible, setting the gold standard for top-shelf cannabis breeding. The Osmolabs experience, where quality meets passion. Stepping into the world of Osmolabs is akin to embarking on a sensory journey to the past. Each strain tells a unique story, crafted with passion and expertise that is palpable in every puff. Experience the difference that top-shelf cannabis breeding can make and elevate your cannabis journey to new heights. Unveil the secrets of Osmolabs and discover a world where quality, innovation, and passion converge to redefine the art of cannabis breeding, exploring the roots of old-school cannabis strains. Old-school cannabis genetics refer to the foundational strains that laid the groundwork for the diverse varieties available in today's market. These original genetics hold a special place in the hearts of cannabis enthusiasts and breeders alike. They are the building blocks of the modern cannabis industry, with their unique characteristics and effects shaping the way we perceive and consume cannabis today. Understanding the significance of heritage strains. Heritage strains, such as skunk, northern lights, and haze, have stood the test of time and continue to influence new hybrids and cultivars. These classic varieties offer a glimpse into the rich history of cannabis cultivation and consumption, providing a connection to the past for many enthusiasts. The distinct aromas, flavors, and effects of these old-school genetics showcase the diversity and complexity of the cannabis plant. Unraveling the genetic makeup of old-school strains. Old-school cannabis genetics are known for their stability and consistency, traits that are highly valued in breeding programs. These classic strains often exhibit strong genetic markers that make them reliable choices for breeders looking to create new and exciting varieties. By understanding the genetic makeup of these heritage strains, Osmolabs has harnessed their unique characteristics to develop novel cultivars with specific traits and effects. Navigating the evolution of cannabis genetics. As the cannabis industry continues to evolve, old-school genetics remain a cornerstone of breeding projects aimed at preserving and enhancing the qualities of classic strains. By blending old-school genetics with old-school breeding techniques, Osmolabs has created hybrids that offer a fresh take on familiar favorites. This fusion of old-school genetics results in a diverse array of cannabis varieties that cater to a wide range of consumer preferences. Embracing the timeless appeal of old-school cannabis, Osmolabs' genetics library will always be completely separate from the current cannabis industry genetics pool. With hundreds of old-school strains, Osmolabs has something for everyone.